This is EBC Television.
Good evening and welcome, Anomaly. Actually, I can't keep that up for very long. Good evening, welcome to our show, Anomaly, from the Eldritch Broadcasting Corporation and in conjunction with Hopeless Maine and lots of other people. And we've got amazing stuff happening tonight, lots of different things happening. But first off, I'm going to kick off with a song from the Ominous Folk.
You are the one who made me this vessel, mortal child, who gave me this form, forged me a body of brass and of iron, gave me safety and kept me warm. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire. The first form you made me was already broken, cast iron legs that would never move, melted down and started over, never understood what you wanted to prove. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire. The second form crafted though mobile was weaker, one good blow would tear it apart, legs too weak to bear their own burden, seeing me try seemed to break your heart. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire. Time after time you made something better, growing and learning, making and breaking, till one day you finished your greatest creation, fast, strong and mighty and mine for the taking. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire. Two more mortals arrived here to see you, horrified by my body of steel, called you a monster and raising their weapons, choosing then their fate to seal. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire. I am the monster that lives in the engine, I am the demon that fuels the fire, I am the reason your creatures keep moving, I am the madness to your desire.
Fabulous, fabulous. I have to say, after we recorded that song, it was stuck in my head for at least a week afterwards. Really like that song. Written, I believe, by James Weaselgrease and performed there by the ominous folk of Hopeless Maine. And more about them and more from them later on. So let's find out why this all came about. So I'm going to introduce you to the people behind this anomaly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
So we have with us, below me we have Andy Arbon, of the Cthulhu Party, amongst many other things, maker of strange devices and so on. And then we have Tom and Nimue Brown, who should not be strangers to anybody who follows Hopeless Maine. Wonderful creators of that, and creators of quite mad stuff. Yes, I think we can all do that, can't we? So Andy and Tom and Nimue, how did this come about? Andy, do you want to kind of kick off? Because Cthulhu is your thing. Eldritch Broadcasting was your thing, I believe.
Yeah, Eldritch Broadcasting Corporation kind of started purely because I wanted a little ident to go at the start of the Cthulhu Party Politicals. So I found this lovely old BBC ident from, I think, sort of the 1950s that kind of looked a bit sort of dark and eldritch to begin with. Then I modified it a bit and called it the Eldritch Broadcasting Corporation. And then spoke to the person who everybody knows, Herr Doctor, who it turns out can do a rather good received pronunciation accent.
Yeah, he's definitely master of accents, that man. Master of voices.
Yeah. And produced the voiceover for it, and I put out a Cthulhu Party Political during lockdown using that, and I thought that was as far as it was ever going to go until other people picked up on this.
So Tom and Nimue, how did you get involved in this then?
It actually started last year when we did the online Hopeless Maine Festival with you. And Andy said, I've got all this stuff. But it was a little bit 11th hour and we didn't quite work out what to do with it. But the possibility of coming back and being an Eldritch Broadcasting Corporation.
Who could resist? I mean,
we didn't.
We didn't even try.
No.
Well, we're certainly going to see the logo a few times. It's on my screen there. I think you can see it there, but you'll see it elsewhere. And we've also got some of Doctor's lovely continuity announcements coming up popping up in various places as appropriate or inappropriate. I'm not quite sure which. Andy, tell us a little bit about the Cthulhu Party itself. What do they represent? Who are they for? What are they standing for?
So the Cthulhu Party, I mean, you can see our party campaign bus behind us.
Oh yes, campaign buses. They're really important. Yeah.
There we go.
Just don't
I believe
we're all about raising Cthulhu, and we genuinely believe that no one should have to choose the lesser of two evils when they vote. So if you're not going to choose the lesser evil, why not choose Cthulhu?
Yeah, I mean you've got to have to go fairly far to get more evil than current governments, but I think Cthulhu probably does go there, really. So Tom and Nimue, now you're kind of known for Hopeless Maine. So just I'm sure a lot of people watching this will know a bit about Hopeless Maine, but just tell us a little bit about how that came about and roughly what it is. I know that could be a 4-hour documentary, but
it's been a labor of love of mine for many years, and it started as a different project, and then it sort of grew up. I started writing it on my own, just based on all the pop culture and everything from Maine, and the supernatural and the horror. And the fact that Maine is just genuinely haunted, and this is why Maine literature is like this. And then I found Nimue online because I had been starting to write it myself, and I fell in love with her work first. And then I begged her to write the story for me, and she said no.
Never written a comic, had no idea what I was doing, but still have no idea what I'm doing. So it's a graphic novel series that's nearly finished. We've got one more book to come out. It's prose fiction, also including that international man of mystery, Keith Harrington. Nobody knows who he is.
This is why he's called the Keith of Mystery.
It's live performance.
It wouldn't be mysterious if people knew who he was, would it, really?
No, it would ruin
no.
it. We would
No,
never
it would
say.
ruin it. Yeah, it just wouldn't be the same.
There's a blog, people contribute. There's all kinds of people who jumped in to do stuff this evening. We just keep luring people in and go on, do a thing. And then wonderful bonkers things like this happen. And on we trot, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I have to say, obviously, I've been captured by the world of Hopeless Maine, that's for sure. And I love the fact that it is kind of a world, and it's very collaborative project, which I love. I think is brilliant because I think there's so much more inspiration and ideas that happen when you have a bunch of people who are all doing mad things together, so like we are this evening. And also one thing that struck me when we did Voices of Hopeless Maine, but also when we're tonight doing this thing, there's not really been a shortage of material coming in. So we've got 2 hours worth tonight. So we are looking at a 2-hour program tonight, just for anybody who wants to make sure they've got enough coffee or gin or beer or whatever it is that you're going to accompany this show with. So we've got quite a lot of stuff. Speaking of which, we probably should press on. So we're going to come back to you towards the end of the broadcast and catch up on things Hopeless Maine and things Cthulhu and what's going to happen in the next in the future for these 2 wonderful figments of imagination. And but in the meantime, we spoke about the Cthulhu Party. Let's see what they've got to say for themselves, shall we?
This is EBC Television. Now on EBC, a party political broadcast from the Cthulhu Party.
Hello. Here at the Cthulhu Party headquarters, we are acutely aware of the issues affecting the everyday voter. One of the issues, of course, at the moment is the ongoing energy crisis, and we believe here at the Cthulhu Party that we have the solution. And that solution, as with many things, is of course Cthulhu. By harnessing modern science, we can use Cthulhu to generate energy. Here is a brief diagram explaining the concept. The souls used, of course, will be willing volunteers. And here is one of our technicians looking over the science machines that we use to convert those souls into energy. Cthulhu must be fed at regular intervals anyway, so this is essentially a byproduct of something that is bound to happen. Our technician here is adjusting the system that allows energy to be generated from this process. Hurry up, man. Here, our technician enters the number of souls that he believes will be required, and outputs the amount of energy that will be generated. Of course, everything must set up to exacting standards to ensure that maximum efficiency is achieved. In order to find souls, we use a method called pendulum divination, which assists us in finding where large groups of volunteers may be found. In this case, we are scanning West London. This brave Cthulhu Party member is about to go into this cave to round up some volunteers. One unfortunate side effect of the process is the mist that constantly surrounds party headquarters, especially over the graveyard. The only byproducts can be passed directly into the sea as further food for Cthulhu. You can see through this method that we have solved the energy crisis. Hooray for Cthulhu!
That was a party political broadcast from the Cthulhu Party.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that's persuaded all of you to vote Cthulhu, because clearly they have a serious case there. Serious case of what? I'm not quite sure.